ICC prosecutor Fatou Bensouda's request to publish the evidence against President Uhuru Kenyatta was allowed by the judges despite her having withdrawn the charges. Last evening, she released a 69-page document detailing Kenyatta's involvement in the 5-day retaliatory attacks in Nakuru and Naivasha in 2008. Bensouda notes in her body of evidence that there was a common plan to keep the PNU in power at any cost. With former head of public service Francis Muthaura as the pointman, Bensouda claims Kenyatta used intermediaries to plan meetings with mungiki leaders, recruit and distribute weapons and police uniforms to the mungiki, and generally bankrolled the attacks. In her dossier, Bensouda names the late John Mishuki and his wife Wateri Mishuki, former MPs George Thuo and Mwangi Kiunjuri, and Francis Kimemia, who later succeeded Muthaura as head of civil service, as the persons who made contact with the Mungiki leaders. Other actors named in the attacks in Nakuru and Naivasha include former MPs John Mutudho, Jane Kihara, David Manyara, and several businessmen. According to Bensouda's brief, Kenyatta and his intermediaries embarked on a scheme to conceal the evidence in the aftermath of the post-election violence. She claims that the Mungiki members who dealt personally with Kenyatta and his agents were systematically eliminated. They included Charles Ndungu Wagasha, who liaised with Muthaura to coordinate the Rift Valley attacks and who had a direct channel of communication with Muthaura. Wagasha was reportedly killed by police in April 2008. Maina Diambo, a senior Mungiki leader who was present at planning meetings with PNU officials and who also had direct communication with Muthaura during the violence, was reportedly arrested by the police in June 2008 and subsequently disappeared.
My purpose is to seek the truth.
According to Bensouda's body of evidence, Naftali Irungu, aka Marcus, a member of Mungiki's top organ called J5, who received money and weapons from PNU officials for the retaliatory attacks, was also killed with Wagasha. Anthony Mwenje, aka Noriega, a Mungiki leader who dealt with Kenyatta during the violence and controlled a platoon of Mungiki attackers during the Naivasha attack, was arrested by police and also subsequently disappeared. Njoroge Gisheri, a senior Mungiki leader who attended planning meetings for the Rift Valley attacks and who allegedly received money from Kenyatta, is also said to have disappeared shortly after the violence. Timothy Mburu Gatira, a member of the Mungiki J5, who also allegedly met with Kenyatta and received money and material for the Rift Valley attacks, was also killed or disappeared in mid-2008. Njuguna Gitau Njuguna, a Mungiki spokesman who collected money from Kenyatta and uniforms from Francis Kimemia for the Rift Valley attacks, was killed in Nairobi on November 5, 2009 by plainclothes police officers. Bensouda claims Njuguna died after expressing an intention to meet with the former ICC prosecutor Moreno Ocampo, who was in Nairobi that day. Another Mungiki leader, George Njoroge Wagasha, aka Afco, also a member of the J5 and personal assistant to Maina Njenga, was also reportedly killed together with Virginia Nyakio, Maina Njenga's wife. According to Bensouda's body of evidence, these killings and forced disappearances were part of a cleanup campaign to conceal the accused's involvement in the post-election violence. Bensouda also says Kenyatta used another scheme of bribing and intimidating witnesses to scuttle the case against him. Sylvie Chebet for The Big Question.